Okay, so what worked about that one? Passion, repetition, tapping and pointing. Okay, so physical was very much a part of it. Good. What else? Cadence. Yes, very much of a cadence. By the way, people that are auditory talking a cadence. Yes. What's that? He's evoking emotion. Good. How was he doing that? Patriotism. Good. A challenge. Good. Opposites. Yeah. How did he use opposites?
And referring to abusing, something about abusing the power that we have by getting into our troubles and national conflicts, and saying that eventually when we go to space, that should not be the case. And if we're able to walk away from that, then we can hopefully use space exploration to something greater than man has ever.
Good. So yeah. So he looked at the opportunity. He also looked at the dangers. He looked at both. He as is both sides of the coin on this thing. Good. Yes.
He acknowledged that it's like an impossible feat.
Yes.
And yet he highlighted the benefits that would be the spin-offs that would have the nation be great.
Yeah. Basically, what he said. He's a very Kennedy-esque perspective on his view of life. Basically, the challenge was, he says, people say, why do this? Why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? Which, by the way, Texas is the big university in Texas, and they play each other in football every year and get crushed by these guys. Okay? That's why he got the laugh. But he says, why does Rice play Texas? He says, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they're easy, but because they're what? Hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best. In other words, what he was saying is, he said that greatness only happens not when you do what's easy, but when you do what's hard.
I think he was able to convey a vision through his words. You could see it. You could see the mountain. You could see the moon.
Good.
He's very good. He's always been that good at doing that. I think there's other presidents that were like that too, but he was really good at doing that.
Yeah, well, he was I think he was the only president to win a Pulitzer Prize also. Because he's a very eloquent, good writer. Again, he was a very auditory person as well. Yes?
I think what's more important than that is that
What's more important than that is he actually made a statement to pull a nation together, to have them work as one team, to achieve something that seems impossible, but would create benefits on many, many levels for a nation fighting together.
Right.
Or a team working together.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the politics of the thing. Because, again, with me, you would be here all day. Yeah, it was a lot. Good. There was a lot. What's that? Where are we? What? Oh, true. But as you said, good. There is a lot of whiff in it. A lot of what's in it for me. Tons of what's in it for me. And it was. And again, it's a good lesson because it's not about doing something pleasant or easy. Okay. So that was a one style. You notice the jaw, the finger pointing. His whole thing was challenge, and you could see it in his body. And we used to practice delivering that piece. Until you can actually, all of a sudden, you begin to feel it. Very powerful. Now, another one I want to show you, another one that we used to study, I still do. I mean, I look at these, obviously, thousands of times, is the next page. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King. Now, how many people have seen this speech, his I Have a Dream speech? How many have not seen it? Okay, well, you're about to see the end of the speech, the ending part of the speech. And it's interesting that I've shown this thing all over the world. I've shown it in countries where I really wasn't supposed to show it. But we showed it anyway. And I have to tell you something, even people that don't have a great command of the English language, there's something about this that moves them too. And I want you to see what it is, or hear, or feel what it is. Okay? Go ahead. How many people could still feel it? Why? Why? From the heart? Truth? Touched everybody. Yeah, now the key there is he touched everybody. Now, if you notice that his language and what he said, he was, unlike many people that came after him, or even before him, he was what we call inclusive, not exclusive. Everybody. He kept referring to all of God's children. Very nice. Good observation. What else? Metaphors. Yeah, master of metaphors. Very visual. Painted picture. Even though he was himself, again, very auditory in that sing-songy fashion. Melodic.
His language was very well paced. He allowed time for applause and for...
Right? Well, good, well-timed.
Kinesthetic with the immersion, holding hands.
End of each point. I have a dream at the beginning and then at the end.
Right. Repetition, very, very big part of it. Yes. Great quotations. Good. So use quotations that most people would recognize.
God's story itself was kind of kinesthetic.
Yeah.
And it's repetition, and also the way he would finish one sentence and immediately start into another with repetition or something.
Something that he just said. It was like a symphony.
Right. It was like a symphony. Strategic pauses. Good. Yes. A lot of picture words. Yes. In the back.
Overall, the message was very simple.
Yes. What was the message?
All God's children should be loved equally.
Free. Freedom.
Be free.
Free at last. Free at last.
Either he has a really good memory, or he practiced that speech and it's really...
Or there's a third option. I want you to notice this about him. You saw this with Kennedy too. Kennedy had all of his stuff always on cards. But there came a point where the cards went away. How many people saw that? There's a part of this too. We played it again, you would see it. There's a place where, in fact, he was looking at notes and the notes went away. And at some level, when he got to the message, that was part of that was not practiced.
Just with his voice. And then he was even more powerful when he started using his hands.
Yeah.
And he kept taking you down. I have a dream brings you back up. And then he brings the energy up in his voice. He just manipulates energy. And there was thousands of people there. And every single one of them was responding to him.
Yeah.
And you could feel it.
Very powerful. Now, again, we could analyze this for a long time. I'm going to show you one more clip of him, however. It's a very short one. And this was his last public appearance. This is in Memphis. And apparently there would have been a pending sanitation worker strike. He came in, and again, I mean, his message was one of nonviolence. Very much nonviolence. I mean, his whole thing is, it's not about fighting. It's about civil disobedience because we think the laws are wrong. Basically, he came into Memphis and there had been threats made on his life because he obviously was not a very popular person in some circles. And he gives this speech, and this is his last public appearance. He gave this speech, and what's haunting about this is you'll hear in a couple of words that he says that he actually forecasts his own death. There's something in his beingness that knew that it was over at this point, and this was his last appearance. Some part of him, I don't think it was conscious, but definitely unconscious. And of course, everybody knows the story is the next morning when he got up to catch some air at the hotel that he was staying in, that he was taken by a sniper's bullet. But the message didn't die. And I want you to see here why it didn't die. Look at his eyes and see what you see.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountain top. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He
Everybody take a deep breath. What you see right there is he actually physically collapses right there. See how they're holding him up? Because if the video played on, is what actually they have to support him, and he actually collapses into his seat. He expired. What did he say? What did he say? No fear. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. That's how strong the vision is. My question to you is, how strong is your vision? You're all given one at birth, my belief. A gift to give. You don't have to enroll millions, and you definitely don't have to take a bullet. But the issue is, would you let somebody else's opinion of you stand in the way of you delivering what needs to be delivered? Everybody take a deep breath. Powerful piece, yes? I can tell you, I've seen this thing, I don't know how many thousands of times. Every time. Same impact. Greater impact.